Victory Monday for the ninth time of the season. Who cares how ugly it is after watching the game again and getting to Monday afternoon, evening, whatever you want to call it? Washington is 9-5 and currently locked into the seventh spot in the NFC playoff picture. Let's talk about it. What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It is Victory Monday, ninth time of the season. Washington clinches its first winning record season since 2016? We're talking 8 to 9 years ago. But we're back, baby. We're back. It is something to celebrate, despite how nasty that win might have felt yesterday. Would you rather lose beautifully or win ugly? That's the question I have for y'all today. But first things first, this video was brought to you and powered by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, home of the fastest payouts in the industry, and a match bonus of 150% on your first deposit using YouTube 150. Promo code YouTube 150, 125% match bonus on deposits 2 or 3 for up to $2,000. Please bet responsibly. Washington is another win away from sealing its fate into punching a ticket to the dance known as the playoffs this year. How are y'all feeling today? Tried like hell to lose that game. Didn't. We're officially winners. Give us all the fucking sprinkles. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? How we feeling out there today? A 1-point win sure feels a lot better than a 1-point loss on Victory Monday. Let's go, man. How y'all feeling out there today? 9-5 feels good. Who the fuck are we to expect perfection? And the thing is, perfection doesn't exist. Even in a lot of those games where we were scoring 30 to 40 points this year, we were still nitpicking and prodding about things that we could improve on, because there were 35, 31, and 42-point performances where we left meat on the bone. Yesterday was not that, but we will take it. We will take it. I would like to beat the Eagles next week just to keep them from getting that first seed. The Detroit Lions lost yesterday, so let's start this stream by walking around the NFC to what took place on Sunday afternoon and Sunday night. I've been telling y'all for a while now, everybody's saying, the Rams are catching us. The Rams are catching us. I kept saying, stop watching the Rams because they're going to win that division. I don't know what about Geno Smith and the Seahawks has everybody so confident that they're going to win the NFC West, but I'm telling you, the Rams are going to be hot going into the playoffs. They are going to be the ones that win the West. They win this weekend. They move to 8-6, and the Seahawks get obliterated. And there was a Sam Howell sighting on Sunday Night Football yesterday. Sam looked absolutely atrocious. I wish the best for him if he gets back on the field again. What a week it is when Carson Wentz gets in for the Chiefs. Sam Howell gets in for the Seattle Seahawks. The only thing you're missing to fulfill the Holy Trinity is Taylor Heineke coming in for the Los Angeles Chargers. But the Detroit Lions, they got almost 50 put on their head tops by the Buffalo Bills yesterday. They lose their, second game of the season. They remain at the first seed, but they're tied with the Eagles, and then we're going to get to the rest of the playoff picture. But the Lions, they are very hurt. They're very banged up. A lot of guys are getting hurt. I believe Montgomery might be out for the season at this point. That was devastating that happened to them yesterday in that game. And guys are getting hurt left and right. And, we're finally seeing chinks in the Lions' armor as we grow closer to the playoff. The Eagles come off a week where they almost lose to the Carolina Panthers and then follow it up with a victory, an impressive one at that, versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was all Philadelphia for that whole game, and that long-standing record that Pittsburgh hasn't beat Philly at home since 1965, that continues on forward. The Eagles look good. The Eagles look like the top seed in the conference right now. Tampa Bay gets them another. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 8-6 on the season. The Rams, third seed. The wild card picture is what I want to talk about. It gets very interesting. Nobody's going to get the fifth seed. That's going to be the Detroit Lions or the Vikings. I know you're probably like, Rio, what do you mean the Detroit Lions? They have another matchup coming up against the Vikings. If the Vikings win their last 3 games, they are the number 1 seed. They would hold the tiebreaker over the Detroit Lions. If the Vikings win out and get the 15-2, They are your top seed, and that would put Detroit at the 5th seed and having to go on the road in the first round of the playoff rather than having the path to the Super Bowl going through Ford Field in Detroit. It gets very interesting. Also, a game back of them, the Green Bay Packers. They dominate the Seattle Seahawks on prime time last night, and they look like a team that they can beat anybody in the conference. Feels like the most wide open, anybody can take all situation on both sides of the curtain that I've seen in quite some time. There's no overarching favorite outside of if Patrick Mahomes is healthy and the road to the Super Bowl goes through Arrowhead and their blood magic in Kansas City. That's the closest to a favorite we have, but it feels like anybody can do that shit this year. It's very interesting, man. Very, very interesting. The live stream yesterday was so funny. I hope he put up a picture of the QB again. Jake Haener. We got to pull the Jake Haener sucks, though. If there's one thing I don't regret, it's trolling Jake Haener because he was every bit as ass as I expected. We had that boy in a stranglehold. He couldn't breathe in the pocket, and we should have had a couple picks off of that guy. But then that gets to Washington with the 7th seed. With the 7th seed in the NFC playoff picture. So we're looking at the playoff picture. Lurking behind us is the Seattle Seahawks with one more loss than us, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Atlanta Falcons. If these teams get to 8 losses on the season and we get to 10, we're clinched. We're punching our ticket. I think the Rams and Seahawks have another game to play between the two. Once one of those teams gets to 7 losses and we get to 10, I think we're pretty much in the driver's seat and we're going to be clinched. So the playoff picture in the NFC is pretty much shaped up as far as who the wild card teams are going to be. I just think the order depends. Washington would have to practically lose out from here and someone like Seattle win out or lose a couple. I don't know. There's a lot that needs to happen for Washington to fall out of the playoff picture. So just take care of business. One more win gets us in. 2 more secures a spot. 11 and you are 100% in the fucking playoffs this year. What are y'all thinking right now? How are y'all feeling about the current playoff picture? You know, I know talking about the playoffs the day after we escape is not something you want to do, but at the end of the day, a lot of teams play nasty football. A lot of teams played nasty football. Whatever situation and scenario that clinches us the playoffs faster, the better. I don't want to go into week 18 with stipulations of for Washington to clinch. I want us to go into the last couple weeks of the season knowing. And they're talking about flexing our game versus the Falcons. I don't know about y'all. I want to just play it at 1. Why can't we just play it at 1 on Sunday? I'm hearing Saturday night potential for Falcons at Commanders. I'm not exactly interested in a primetime game versus the Falcons, but if they want to put us in primetime for Jaden's first coordination of clinching a playoff spot, sure. I don't really see the point in that. What are we playing against the Falcons on primetime for? What reason would that have to be? Like, if the Falcons were to find a way and lose tonight, they're out of the playoff situation for real. So what are we talking about? Like, why are we putting that game in primetime, y'all? The score is closer than what the game really was. Lots of misses, and refs was helping the shit out of them. The thing is, I don't want to hear about the refs. Washington had 1,000 opportunities to not leave the game up to the refs. So while the refs did make some gargantuan mistakes with the time clock and a couple of the penalties they call, Washington gave them 1,000 chances to do so. They let the albino demon come off the bench and school them on Sunday. You know, there was a lot of mental errors, lacks of execution, undiscipline, and just not hitting on things we need to hit on. But hey, determine your own destiny. Don't leave the game to Foot Locker employees and kickers. It's a bad year for kickers, by the way. Very bad year to be a kicker. I'm not happy with how we won, but I'll take it. As a team that ain't seen many wins in a long time, in the moment, we all are supposed to act like, as a fan, I'd expect nothing less from me or any of y'all than to be doom and gloom, because fan is short for fanatic for a reason. And in the moment, we're supposed to all act the ass. We don't have to all act like we got common sense or like, oh God, okay, but we still won. Like in the moment, you can say that felt ugly, man. Detroit, the walking wounded, they are that right now. They are very banged up, and they're whew. Sam Howell was some shit, some hot ass. He was some hot ass on that field yesterday. He did come in cold though, and coming in cold is very hard. Oh, Heinicke did come in yesterday. He did. We got the holy trinity of Washington's past. We got Howell, Heinicke, and Wentz all hitting the field in the same weekend, man. Play the lottery, man. Play the lottery, man. Yes, sir. Shout out to Washington on the Daily. That logo on the top right of the screen at Wash on the Daily, man. My guy Ray got all the hail hats and all the stuff like that on there. Hainer was scared to throw the ball. Yeah, he was. Oh no, you talking about Howell? Sam Howell doesn't know how to run away from sacks. I mean, yesterday our Bulldogs struggled with some of the same type of shit because we made the Saints D-line look like the 85 Bears. Them boys was out. Chase Young had a day. John Ridgeway. Cam Jordan hasn't produced in a minute. He was on our ass, man, but we sufficed. We made it out, y'all. 9 wins. This is our first winning season in almost 10 years, and we're looking for our first 10-win season since 2012 and our first 11-win season since 91. That was the boys' birth year. So, man, we just got to handle business on our end because the playoff picture will shift on the weekly. It won't shift as long as we take care of business, but we got a very hard game coming up on Sunday. This is going to be so random. Do I think the Texans will do anything? Speaking of the Texans have the youngest, most talented secondary and defense in general, one of them that I've ever seen. They're fucking phenomenal. I'm looking at the Texans. This is what the Texans secondary has done this year. Mind you, guys, our leading interceptor on our team is rookie Mikey Sanders still. He has 2. He caught his second yesterday. He should have had 2 yesterday. He should have 3 interceptions right now. Let me tell y'all about the secondary in Houston. We all know about Derek Stingley Jr. If you watch this channel, I told you coming out, me and my boy Jalen, we told you Stingley is going to have a better career than Sauce Gardner. Stingley had 5 picks last year. You know how many picks he has with 3 games left this year? He has 5 again. And their other corner, Kamari Lassiter, has 3 interceptions. And their other corner, safety, hybrid guy, slot guy, Jimmy Ward, has 2 interceptions. And one safety has 1 interception. And Kalen Bullock, their rookie safety out of USC, has 5 interceptions. Let me run this back to you. They got 2 players with 5 interceptions, another couple players with 2 interceptions, and one with 1. That is 16 interceptions, bro. They got 16 interceptions, and between their 2 best edge rushers, they have 22 sacks. So Houston's defense and Stroud coming alive again as Nico Collins is getting healthy. They can go as far as they like to because they can play complementary football as long as CJ Stroud is playing his best football. Could you imagine having a young secondary like this? Kalen Bullock, Eric Murray, Derek Stingley, Jimmy Ward, and Kamari Lassiter. Good God. Good God. Could you imagine having that? And yes, they've accumulated this over the years and stuff like that. That's a lot of young boys out there balling, man. Balling. Shout out to my guy, Austin, who hit a generational parlay this weekend. You know? Rio, you see Peters hugging Lattimore after the game? Oh, yeah. Mwah. I love it, man. Hell yeah. He saw the fruits of his labor. He saw the fruits of his own labor coming out. 16 picks is crazy. I had to go like, fam. Like, what? They're going crazy, man. Crazy. Is KJ suiting up? I believe he's suiting. He's probably starting. He's probably starting opposite Terry because even with no Noah Brown, you still get a big nothing burger for the rest of the wide receiver room. But man, Adam Peters, all I ask, look at what they building in that Houston defense. I want this. And Jalen Petrie, who's hurt, but dog, like they're definitely the no-fly zone out there in Houston right now. I want some of that for us, bro. We got to hit on some of these picks. Let's talk about Marshon Lattimore for a second, man. Let's talk about Marshon Lattimore for a second. As advertised, he got to go out there and get some good cardio in yesterday. He was not targeted one time. You give us a number one corner. You cut off half the field. We still managed to let Rattler wheel and deal up and down the field on the other side. But that is the impact of having a number one corner. For people that think all corners do is catch interceptions, no, there are some guys that are there just to be blankets, just to be eliminators, and quarterbacks respect them by not going to them. Marshon Lattimore is one of those guys. I watched the cut up. I need to find it on Twitter of all his snaps. He looks up to speed. He looks like the hamstrings are working, and he looked good. He wasn't tested yesterday. This is good. I see somebody yesterday say, yo, I haven't heard Lattimore's name called. Is he even playing? That's exactly what we signed him to do. That's what we traded for him to do, you know? No-fly zone with Lattimore. I love that. They respect the guy. They got to check in with him when they get off the plane. We barely won against the Saints, but the Eagles barely beat the Panthers. The following week, the Eagles beat the Steelers. We can win out and beat the Eagles next week. One game at a time. I think you're going to see a different Washington team. We're such a weird, stupid-ass team. We've always been that way. We're that team that loses to the worst team in the league and goes toe-to-toe with the best team in the league the next week. So, you know, yak and interception stacked up. It is a dream. One day, though, we need injury report. I've been out and about. I had a stream on Bleacher earlier today, but I've been out and about. I had some appointments and stuff. Has Dan Quinn addressed the media today? I'm a little late on stuff. Has we heard any news about Jeremy Chinn or Zach Ertz? I know that there's a section of the fan base and of y'all in the chat that are probably like, I hope Ertz is out so we can see Ben Sinnott. Let's not do that. Let's not do that because, like it or not, Jaden has a good rapport with Zach Ertz. He may offer no yak. He may not offer a for sure catch, but they have a good rapport, and his veteran leadership is definitely something we look forward to for the rest of this season, man. But Washington, get ready. Y'all Super Bowl is Sunday. I don't know about our Super Bowl. We just need one more win to get in the playoffs, but we do owe the Eagles this week. What's good? What's good? You know, I rep the Skins from Madison, Wisconsin. Send some prayers up for my city. Prayers up to Madison, Wisconsin, man. Appreciate you for locking in with your boy and for the donation to the channel and for always holding it down. You've been here since this channel's origin, my guy. Send some prayers up to Madison for my boy. Why was St. Juice on the field yesterday? Because sometime a rotation calls for it. We saw a lot of weird formations and new recipes yesterday. I seen Michael Walker on the field to start the game. Derek Forrest was back in, even though some of that was due to injury. And you see why Derek Forrest wasn't on the football field yesterday. We saw some, Jordan McGee in at backer for the team. There was a lot of new recipes coming off the bye week. So I don't know why, but when St. Juice got on the field, as soon as he got on the field, he played 12 snaps yesterday? As soon as he got on the field, he made his presence known in the most negative and consistent with reputation way possible. He got him a flag. Not only a flag that extended a drive on third down. If you know one thing, Benjamin St. Juice going to get a penalty. I haven't seen a game like that by Redskins corner since Champ Bailey. I haven't seen a corner as good as D Hall, Smoot, Springs, Norman, as good as these guys were. I was about to say Bashard Breeland. For a little bit, he was all right. Nobody got that respect, though, where no one threw the ball to them. I don't think I've ever seen a corner in D.C. since Champ Bailey get avoided for 60 minutes. They didn't even try to throw like a screen on it at this guy, man. There were no targets at Marshawn Lattimore. But I would think the team he comes from would have the most utmost respect and be cognizant of his ability. So who's starting for Atlanta? I think Kirk still. I think Kirk. And I think the Raiders are starting tonight. I think they're starting Desmond Ridder. Eagles trolls are funny. Enjoy choking in the playoffs. They got a shot, man. I hope they choke, though. What up, Rio? I'm still here in New Orleans, boots to the ground. We took over the Superdome. Sure did. It was all y'all look like y'all had y'all a blast up and down that timeline. Seems like y'all still don't believe in the Eagles being the real deal. I do. Y'all are good ass. I think the Eagles are going to end up with the 1 seed. The Eagles or the Vikings are going to end up with the 1 seed before the season's over. I don't believe he's addressed that I'm wearing. He doesn't address any of it. We probably won't hear a real specific injury update till Wednesday when the boys get back out there. But I need us to be all business this week. I hope we pull the black uniforms out. Biggest game of the year. We already seen what Philly did to us in Philly. Let's see if we can take care of some home cooking and we can get our lick back when they come into town this week. Rio, can we have a forum to educate our no IQ fans? Some of us still think the transitive properties works in sports. Oh man, it would take more than an hour or too long stream. You know, the Philly game about to be different with Lattimore. We just can't come playing like we did yesterday, but week to week league, week to week league, week to week league. You never know what you're gonna see take place in this league right now. Anything is bound to happen, bro. It's been a weird season. It's been a very weird season. We're about to watch the Minnesota Vikings win like 13 or 14, possibly 15 games with fucking Sam Darnold at quarterback. Crazy. While y'all are in here, if y'all could smash that like button for your boy, it would be greatly appreciated. Smash that like button for your boy. It helps push this content out to a bigger audience as we push towards 16, then 20,000 subscribers on the channel. You know? How do you get one snap and crap the bed? Elizabeth, I'm not sure, but ask Benjamin St. Juice because he sure know. So he played just 3 snaps. I thought he played 12. Maybe he did only play 3 snaps. Imagine coming in for a 3 snaps stanza and getting a penalty in the process. Only BSJ. That is the Benjamin St. Booty Juice that I know. Appreciate you, Kwame. Always holding it down. Always bringing realness to the chat. Forrest showed me that the coaches knew best. Everybody that's been screaming for Derek Forrest, if you needed answers, it came out very fast. Forrest is hitting his own teammates. He's getting beat on potential game-winning touchdowns. All of that stuff, man. All of that stuff. The Bears TV always coming in here and talking crazy. Booty just only played 3 snaps. I thought he played 12. He played 3 snaps. That's terrible, man. Hey, as long as we get in and get the experience, I'm not mad, man. I'm not mad, but it depends on how we go out. As long as we go out swinging, I just want us with a ticket to the dance. Everything else is house money at this point. Everything else is house fucking money at this point. Did you see Jalen Carter fight the coach on the sideline in the Eagles game? Hey, Nick Sirianni a goon, bro. Nick Sirianni be ready to throw hands with teammates, fans, all on his side, not the opposing team and the opposing fan. It be his own players. It be his own fans. Hey, I'm hoping that locker room could come apart because Philly's playing ball. You could try to downplay it as much as you'd like to as a Washington fan. You would trade places with them. You would love to be 12-2 coming off of 10 straight wins off the bye versus good teams like the Ravens and the Steelers, etc. You would take that in a heartbeat. So let's not try to fucking kid ourselves and act like we would not put ourselves in the fucking Eagles position if we had the chance. Skins lose to Eagles and Falcons win tonight. Skins and Falcons is basically a playoff game. True. Okay, so now I get it. Keep that shit at 1, man. I don't want to play on prime time again. Like we're gonna get plentiful prime time games next year, man. And the playoffs is prime time enough for me. You know? Yeah, let them rest AJ Brown. Why play him? He is banged up, right? AJ Brown and is Saquon or Jalen Hurts. One of them is banged up as well, right? We're not the Cowboys. First round exit isn't every year. If we played a Super Bowl, y'all did. We know We know the Eagles lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs because the Eagles wear that shit like a purple heart for the world to see, and they want everybody to know that they lost the Super Bowl a couple years ago because that's what they do over there in Philadelphia. Hopefully, we get Allen Eck and Noah Brown back in time for the offs. We come in Philly full strength. We might just do the funniest thing ever. See, I don't know if we're getting all those guys back. Maybe Allen comes back. I think Eck and Noah might be cooked, y'all. I think both of those guys may be cooked for the season, y'all. At this point, I feel like St. Juice wants to sabotage the team since he knows it's his last season here. I don't think that's the case. I think he's just ass, yeah. Coaches pulled that Air Gordon. Nah, we need our lick back, man. We need our lick back versus those guys, for real. You just lost. Like, they celebrated losing that Super Bowl. Those are the most proud runner-ups I've seen in the history of football, man. Most proud ever, you know? Like, oh my, look at us. Like, I would be psyched that we went to a Super Bowl. We ain't been to one in forever, but I'm not going to wear it. Like, they might as well have got jackets made and hats saying Super Bowl runner-up the way that they were talking about that shit. If penalties won games, we need to pay Benjamin St. Juice because he's the Tom Brady of that greatest of all time. Greatest of all time. Missing Tyler Biadasz. Man, that was one of the biggest things I take it away. When I watched the game for a second time last night after my son left the crib, Michael Dieter was a disaster. He was awful yesterday. He was bad. A lot of low snaps, a lot of getting beat off the ball immediately. You definitely looked like a backup center yesterday. You can tell that guy doesn't get much burn. Because, yikes. I ain't going to go too much on the Eagles game yet because, you know, we're going to do a channel preview. We're going to dive deeper into the matchup. But to give a little slight indication of how I'm feeling about it, we're going to look dramatically better than we did yesterday. We're going to look significantly. It's not going to look like the Saints game. I'll tell you that. And I think we will for sure play better than the last time we saw Philly. Do I think Jaden? Yo, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing, bro? I want them to be at full strength. I don't need y'all or want y'all to be banged up. What up, brother? What up, family? How we doing on this Monday, this Victory Monday to be exact? I want y'all at full strength. I want the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't want any excuses because we got to knot up this season series on Sunday. We got to tie it up. I don't want to hear about us getting swept versus this team this year. Biadasz, man, our backup center was ass juice yesterday, y'all. Clowning the number 2 team in the division is my play. Hey, man, talk your shit, bro. We got to beat y'all so we can join the conversation, man, because y'all got it right now. Y'all got it right now. Y'all ain't got no pushback from me yet. Y'all ain't getting no pushback from me until my team proves capable, you know? The misses of JD to Terry had me upset, man. Those would have been nice highlights for those dudes. And as I watched them again, you know, there was some Terry fault in there. I think the combination of getting pressured all day disrupted the timing. And I think one of those times, Terry definitely didn't think he was the one getting targeted on the play. And there was a little bit of hitch to his giddy up. There's a little bit of hiccup in there. So it was a combination between those two guys. I need them to work that out this week because there's going to be pressure on Jaden all day versus Philadelphia. And we couldn't throw the ball more than 10 yards on Philly last time we seen them. We need to be able to dial up those shot plays. So when those home run balls come out the cut next week versus Philly, we got to be hitting on them shits because we had a opportunity to pull away and for Jaden and Terry to have career games. Remember how I've been begging for Terry to have that 150-yard game? Terry goes for over 200 if those get completed because those are 2 bombs over Baghdad touchdown walk-ins if they hit. We're going to hit on them next time now. We're going to hit on them next time, though. And your Jake Haener voice, y'all got to relax, bro. Jalen Carter's a scare. Hey, Nick Sirianni or Big Dom or whatever one of them was trying to throw the Dukes with Jalen Carter. That's a brave guy because Jalen Carter is a scary dude, man. I was about to make a joke, but I'm gonna let it stand today. I was gonna make a highway Jalen Carter joke, but growth. I'm gonna be mature today. Y'all trying to get belt to ass again? Yeah, we gonna see. We owe Dallas and we owe Philly next time we see one. Eagles fans talk a lot for only having one Super Bowl. I don't play the Super Bowl quantity game because I'm 33 and I'm not going to sit here and rep a bunch of trophies I didn't watch. Lattimore can't check Devontae or AJ. Okay. Be careful what you wish for, man. Because Marshawn Lattimore can bowl, man. Rio keeps screaming at Cliff to move Terry around. And he was on the right for all them deep balls, too. That's what low-key, the issue we didn't realize is that Terry was on the right on them deep balls, and Jaden's used to hitting Terry on the left for the deep ball. On Terry's go routes, it's usually the left side. They don't got that right side timing left because it's usually Noah Brown on that side. Terry not used to catching the goal on the. I don't know. I'm just shooting bail, man. I'm just throwing shit at a wall right now. But we'll get them joints right there. I hope Vic Fangio gets a head coaching job next year. Shit, the way he's coaching up that defense in Philadelphia, he might, bro. He got that D-line playing. He's resurrected guys like Josh Sweat, the exciting Whites, Cooper DeJean and Reed Blankenship, that phenomenal rookie cornerback they got over there, Quinyon Mitchell. But we'll talk about the Eagles later in the week. Fuck the Eagles. We're talking about us, right? It's Victory Monday right now. Fuck the Eagles. Fuck them. Real, you're right. Jalen's a killer on the highway. Oops, my bad. See, I was trying to avoid that right now. Y'all still want that. Hey, man, y'all are not a main character in this motion picture right now, 301. Y'all might have won the battle, but y'all won't win the war. Y'all will be watching us play playoff football from your sectional this year, 301. So how about that, bro? We'll see y'all in a couple weeks. You think AP giving OBJ because he cleared waivers? I'm not sure, but OBJ can now sign with any team in the league, so he is free to sign with anybody. Maybe they can give him a call. Maybe they don't. I don't know. I don't really see the point of it, but we could always use more bodies in this room if he's capable still. Feeling like the Chiefs after a win like yesterday, a win is a win. You know, we don't exactly have the 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years, 2 in a row, working on a 3-peat cachet to our resume right now, but good teams win ugly all the time, so I do respect the sentiment. We are what our record is, but we dominated the Steelers in a loss, and Dallas, we did not dominate the Steelers in a loss, and Dallas was outright bullshit. We could already be locked into the playoffs. We didn't dominate the Steelers in a loss, and we lost to Dallas because we was on bullshit that day. So woulda, coulda, shoulda game. I don't really subscribe to that. But I hear you. That Dallas game haunts me. I think about that Dallas game every day because we could be clinching like this week if we won that Dallas game. We would already be sitting at 10 wins with 3 games to go and with a chance to really bust open our best season that we've had in 33 plus years. What is the stat line on Lattimore with Brown in the past games? I don't know off the top of my head, but I think one of them had a good game versus him one time. But I don't care about the past. Marshawn Lattimore wasn't playing for the Commanders when that shit happened, so I really could care less what those numbers look like. It's a whole different situation. We got over 700 in the building right now. It is a Monday evening. Isn't there a double header for Monday Night Football tonight? A game at 7:15 and a game at 8:15. This is the current playoff picture. Smash that like button for the guy. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel yet. Washington, 2nd in the NFC East, 7th in the conference, because you know how playoff seeding works. It doesn't necessarily go by record. You know, if it did, Washington would be what, the 4th seed? Washington would be the 4th seed if it went by record. Yeah, no, we'd be the 5th. We'd be the 5th. We'd still be the top wild card team. Do y'all think the league ever ventures out and goes by best record instead of division and all that, or would that be ridiculous? Would that be too much? What y'all thinking? Dallas is tasting everyone's ass this season, and you're talking like, because they beat us, so they feel like they can talk to us for a little bit. Why did I have a Giants fan calling me talking shit about almost losing to the Saints? I had to tell him to get back into the NFC East fan base. At least we can accept the shit talk from the Cowboy. Any shit talk coming from a Giants fan, you just got to laugh at him and put the phone down. Like, I'm sorry, brother. You're not in this. You're not a part of this conversation, man. You can tell them to get some popcorn and enjoy the view, but they're not allowed in these conversations. You are not a character in this story. Like they're not a side character. They're not an NPC. They're not in the motion picture at all right now. So enjoy the movie. Send them a mock draft next time a Giants fan talks to you. Send them tankathon.com and be like, this is your ballpark right now. We don't have to say anything else. My bad. I'm too old going that. No. You good. No, I say crazy shit all the time on the channel. When we play the Eagles, I'm going to be making saying all kind of wild ass things during the broadcast. We have to block better Sunday. And defensive penalties and our kickers are terrible. I hate the Eagles. If we can stop Saquon and force turnover, that's a lot of things. That's a lot of things you got on that list. If we could do this, that, and that. Here's the thing. When a football game is played over 60 minutes, it never goes how we think it's going to go. There's going to be a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You can't have a checklist and expect to hit everyone when it comes versus the first or second seed in the entire conference. You just got to find a way to out-execute those guys, close down the stretch. We got to get back to playing good football in the fourth quarter. Because once upon a time, we were closing Bama's out in the fourth quarter. I still remember the Bengals game like it was yesterday. We get into these fourth quarters with a little punk-ass lead and think that teams are supposed to just wilt. Teams are supposed to just sit on their lawn chairs and have a picnic with us for the last 15 minutes of the game. And we end up in these cardiac arrest situation game. We can't be doing that shit, man. The Ku Klux Clamps is crazy. I better not see no Eagles fans with Ku Klux Clamps on no t-shirt, because that is diabolical. If the Eagles get the second seed and Washington gets the seventh seed, we play them 3 times in a year. I'd rather play somebody else. I want to see us match up versus somebody else, but you never know. You never know how this is going to shake out, because the Vikings could very well win out, which would put the Eagles at number 1. It would put the Vikings at it would put the Vikings at number 1, the Eagles at number 2, or it could switch up. The Eagles could end up number 1, the Vikings could end up number 2. You never know how the rest of the season is going to play out. So I'm open, but I would prefer to play somebody I haven't seen us match up again. It has nothing to do with like necessarily ducking Philly. I want to see other teams. I want to see how we match up against Detroit or Minnesota or LA or Tampa or something. Acting like his team hasn't played a bad game all season. I told everybody Caleb Bullock was the best safety in the draft. You can clearly see it on time. I wanted him to. I liked him. I liked him in this class. He fit right into that crop of ballers they got in Houston, and they are rocking the shit out of every receiving group that lines up with him, man. Am I streaming tonight's game? I don't think I'm streaming tonight's game. What's the Thursday night game this week? Depending on that one, I have one of my kids' concerts to go to and some obligations to get to this week, but I might be able to do Thursday night football this week. I've actually had a bit of a life recently, so I've been out a couple times during these opportunities to stream. Bro with the wrong wish list to beat us. Philly starts slow. That is their rep this season. That is their reputation. We start fast. It's that damn third quarter we're concerned about. And that fourth quarter, we're completely fumbling. And our defense starts to fold in the fourth. This is a Victory Monday. Stop talking about the Eagles. Let's talk about the game yesterday. Jaden Daniel, despite the fact that he had a couple of misses yesterday, 220, 6 incompletions, 2 touchdowns, no picks, another high quarterback rating. I believe he's like the first rookie in NFL history to have like 4 games of a certain completion percentage and quarterback rating. I don't know. He breaks so many records and he sets so many new standards. It's something new each week. I hear you, though. Who do I want to play in the first round? ideally the winner of the South or the winner of the West. I think the Rams are going to be a hard out. Give me a rematch with Tampa. I wish we could play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first round. We got to see how this seeding shit goes. But ultimately, we're going to be the 7th seed. So we're going to have to play whoever falls into that number 2 spot. So Minnesota, Philly, Detroit is going to be one of those 3. If I got to pick one of those 3, may sound crazy to some. Give me Minnesota. Give me Sam Darnold. If I'm going to take my stab at any of those 3 teams on the road in the playoff, give me the Minnesota Vikings, that menacing defense, Sam Darnold and company, because we're talking controlled environment in a dome, not outside in the cold, and you're talking Sam Darnold as good as a season he's having. Give me Sam Darnold over those other situations, Philadelphia's offense and Detroit's offense. And I know how good that Minnesota offense is. I know how good O'Connell is because he was here and he should have been our offensive coordinator and he should have been in line to be our head coach. But, Washington's finna Washington, so it didn't play out that way. That's who I would pick out of those guys. The Packers, they're going to be a wild card team and they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem for a lot of teams. I could see the Packers easily in the NFC Championship this year. Redskins haven't beat a team with a winning record this year. At least you keep it real, Mr. Robinson. I tried to. And while we were expected to be one of these bad teams that we usually feast on, you play who's on your schedule. You go 4-13, you get a last place schedule. You play. The opponents are already picked years ahead of time. So I don't want to hear about I'll take it. I will say we haven't beat nobody yet this year. I will admit to it. We have not. You play who's on the schedule, man, and we won 9 times. So you're not going to make me turn in a win just because they're bad opponents, bro. I done watched us lose to bad opponents my whole life. So us finding a way to finally beat 8 or 9 of them, it is what it is. We need a signature win, though. We need to beat the Philadelphia Eagles next week so we can have some type of signature notch to add to our belt, He said he got a life now, like he ain't 60-something years. So hey, chill, bro. I'm 33. Don't ageist me. Don't age me up like that. I'm 33. I feel 60 though. I feel 60. Boy, back in the gym too. Boy, I'm trying to get right. We lost a lot of our progress. We got to get back right again. When I say I'm outside, I say I'm handling business. I ain't really doing much. Outside is not for me, Hell yeah. 80% completion for JD yesterday. Shout out to JD and shout out to Terry. Let's Terry appreciation moment of the chat right now. Terry has been the strongest soldier here in DC. Terry probably realistically should have asked for a trade years ago, but that's not how Terry operates. He's not a me guy at all. There's not a me, selfish, or diva bone in his body. He's set through the carousel of quarterbacks Washington has thrown on the field, and it's been a very bad, very ass carousel. This is not a fun ride at the amusement park. He has set through and waited out until this team finally got its life together, finally got some stability in the people that are putting together the rosters here. He waited around till we finally got a good quarterback, and look at what he's doing. He's about to have over 1,000 yards this Sunday when we get to the Eagles. He's going to get to 1,000 this weekend. He's one off the franchise single season record for touchdown. You couldn't think of a better guy to hold records for this team than a guy who patiently sat through all of the toxic turmoil of the last few years. It's been longer than that for us, but for him, it's been his whole career here, man. So you love to see it, man. You love to see it. Y'all know who to vote for the Rookie of the Week award. Jaden has to break the record. Y'all already know. Knicks threw 3 picks yesterday. So while we can positively, we could critique our quarterback and say he missed on some things and he got sacked a bunch, we can't say that he went out and threw 3 picks yesterday. The Broncos fans sure can. I don't know if Knicks is on that ballot this week. They did win the game, though. If we're going to lose anyway, Detroit sounds like a fun loss in a dome. I ain't mad at it, bro. Lattimore. I want Tampa because I want to see Marshawn Lattimore and Evans. I want to see them going at each other again, man. Yep. Lattimore versus Jefferson would be fire. It would be very fun. Jettas is nice, man. Eagles and Vikings fighting for number one now. Yeah, losing Montgomery for the year, that's going to hurt. There's a lot of people injured in Detroit right now. Somebody called them the walking wounded. They are that. At this point, let us get into the playoffs. Let us smell the atmosphere and make them hungry in 2025. Foaming at the mouth for success. I like that. We getting that playoff win regardless. JD is the best quarterback in the playoffs. I believe it. Hey, you never know when you have that guy and when you punch that ticket, you can get hot. I've seen teams do it. You never know, man. We get in, we can make some noise. I think we can match well against Detroit's defense right now, especially with the guys they're missing. Chiefs just released Clyde Edwards-Helaire because he stinks. Please, nobody start asking for Clyde Edwards-Helaire because I'm good. Hit the like button. Y'all heard him. Hit that like button. Smash that like. It costs you nothing. Helps push this content out to a wider audience. We're over 700 packed in here on a Monday evening. Washington is 9-5. Giants nowhere in sight. Cowboys won a game, but who the fuck cares? Playoff picture live and in effect. Meaningful football around Christmas time. You cannot ask for better festivities as we wind down the end of this year. Packers win a Super Bowl every 14 years, going back to the Favre era. This would be the year for them to win it. They could very well do so. That's a talented-ass football team. And when Jordan Love is on, he is on. Y'all say Jaden Daniels. I say Jalen Carter. He's nice, man. He's nice. Fuck the Eagles. Stop making this about y'all. We're not here to talk about y'all, bro. Outside ain't for me either. Yeah, outside ain't here for me. When I say I'm outside, I'm handling some business. I'm doing something, spending some time with somebody that means something to me. I ain't outside because there ain't nothing but trouble and bullshit out here, man. I'm cool. If we beat Philly, we can make a little run to the playoffs. 1 week at a time, baby. 1 week at a time. Retire 17 when Terry's done. Bo Nix shitted rookie of the year down the toilet with those 3 picks. But they did win, though, and his team got the same record as ours. And he still is in the lead in touchdown passes. So he's something to monitor. But I think the eye test definitely tells the truth that Jaden is definitely in the lead when it comes to all of those conversations, man. F1 McLaurin. Great game, but Jaden holding on to a great game. I don't know if I'd say great game for anybody in our uniform except Marshawn Lattimore. Neat quick game against the Eagles. We got to get that ball out. It's the pressure. The pressure disrupts the timing of thing, and we got one wide receiver. So if he don't see it to Terry, it's almost like the only other option is to run. Hopefully, KJ Osborne adds a new wrinkle that nobody has any tape of this year. Didn't do shit in New England, and he just got here. Hopefully adding a new wrinkle to the offense. Hopefully that plays in our favor this weekend against the Eagles. Let's not play Tampa Bay so Lattimore doesn't get ejected and suspended again. True. It's the playoffs. They might let them fight, man. Let them fight like a hockey game, man. They got to treat it like a hockey game when Evans and Lattimore are on the schedule together, man. Let them meet, take off their pads and gloves at midfield, and let them get like 3 or 4 licks in it, and we start the game, man. 85% chance to make the playoff. I've seen 88 somewhere. I've seen 91% somewhere. Just take care of business, man. Take care of business. One hell of a turnaround in 1 year. We're far from where we want to be, but we're far away from where we were last year. I'm grateful and excited for the future. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what the hell I'm talking about right here. And you can't forget where we came from. 4 years of quicksand in our last regime. 25 years of turmoil. In 1 year, we done turned around a roster. We done got ourselves a quarterback. We got ourselves a GM. And we look like we got a competent coaching staff. Is that coaching staff perfect? No. We've seen a lot of situational gaffes from these guys. But those can be tolerated in year 1. If we get to year 4, like Ron and company, and they're still making the same situational gaps, and the team is being stuck. And instead of ascending, they're descending, or worse, staying in place. Because the worst place you can be in football is purgatory, middling, mediocrity. You're staying in the middle. You're not bad or good. Good teams are rewarded with playoff trips and chances to the dance. Bad teams are rewarded with a higher pick in the draft. Being stuck in the middle means you're not going anywhere. It is the worst place to be, and Ron kept us there as well as anyone could. He didn't let the team bottom out until his final year here. And thank Lord he did, because we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that team letting the entire floor fall out from under them and going 4-13 last year. So thank the Lord for that. And let's all be appreciative and reflect on how far we've come in a season, bro. We have 5 more wins than we had last year. Last year during this time, we were right in the middle of an 8-game losing streak. Doesn't this feel so much better? Doesn't it feel nice to nitpick victories? Nitpicking victories feels good. It makes you feel so privileged compared to what we're used to here. How many of our players deserve the Pro Bowl? I think, honestly, 4. Give me Terry, Jaden, Biadasz, Frankie Louvu. I think off the top of my head, those are Pro Bowlers. There's guys that you can consider, the Jeremy Chins, the Bobby Wagners of the world, maybe a Dante Fowler. But I think the 4 players that I can honestly say deserve a Pro Bowl or an All-Pro mention are Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, Frankie Louvu, and Tyler Biadasz, our center, because Biadasz gets busy. He is so clearly the best lineman on the team. Detroit wore the team down, blowing out people by 38 plus, while other contenders play it safe until the playoffs. It's part of football, man. You get worn, your body wears down, win, loss, blowout, or no points. It's football. Bodies wear down towards the end of the season. It's a part of the game. How many of those 8 sacks do you put on JD5? I'd say off of what I've seen, I know at least 3 of them were on the quarterback. But at least 4 to 5 were on the linemen. So that's how I would divvy up the blame pie for that. But no matter how well you stack it, 8 sacks is not okay. It's funny how our expectations changed from training camp. All we wanted was to sweep the Giants and beat the Bears, reminding myself it's year 1. Yep, because yesterday's victory took them 1 game over my preseason prediction. I predicted us to go 8-9, and I said 8-9 in year 1 is a good thing. Expectations, they can change when you're presented with new data, and that new data is that quarterback is not playing games. We got some motion on the offensive side of the ball. We had some weeks where our defense really held it down. So I ain't about that trouble life in them streets, like Willie Jones said. And you keep your ass here. Yeah, man, I be in the house, man. I be in my back cave, but we trying to get active, trying to get these steps in, get back in this gym, get my health right, get my eyes right. I got a long life to live. I got my babies that who got a whole life ahead of them that I got to see. Cliff, stop calling that bullshit run play with the tackles. That shit, running straight down the middle. Cliff is a good play caller, but situationally sometimes he starts feeling himself too much and he gets cute. As soon as we start getting cute, that roller coaster starts going downhill, and then a slippery slope of bad shit starts to take place, and Washington leans into it, and we always end up in a game closer than we wanted it to be. We will play Philly tough as usual. Going to be a physical game. Got to load the box this weekend. Lots of one-on-one. I want to see Marshawn one-on-one with those receivers, man. I want to see him and AJ going at it. Minkah took Barkley out. Minkah came in like a bat out of hell, boy. Who do you think a win will do versus the Eagles Commanders? What's my confidence versus the Eagles? A 5 out of 10. I'm 50-50. We're going to talk about it, though. We're going to see this week about Osborne. We're going to see. Sam Howell showed why we traded him last night Hey, when I was watching Seattle, I had to remind myself, damn, we got a 3rd round pick for Sam. Shout out Peters, man. Terry is number 1 in the NFC in touchdowns at 11. Second closest is St. Brown with 10. Though he's now 5th in yards, I think the touchdown count is too high to not get all pro. You know, his name doesn't have as much popularity next to it. And when it comes to these all pro voting, but Terry got a shot at all pro this year. If it's not first team, second team, that would be a high honor for real. All pro is going to be hard to get though, because there are some really good players in this league, and there are some really good football teams that are better than ours where they're going to come from. I need DQ or Anthony Lynn to drill fundamentals in the Flickless noggin. Hey, we can't run. There are times in the game where we have nothing we can do in the run game. That's why the only effectiveness sometimes is when Jaden has to scramble away from pressure, man. So when your first round exit, what are y'all then? Still Super Bowl contenders? We really spent Thanksgiving last year watching DaRon Bland break the pick 6 record against us, and we had to watch these motherfuckers eating turducken during the game. They're all jumping in the Salvation Army bucket, eating premeditated turducken. That's what our life was last year, man. Hey, y'all, they really huddled together before the game and said, yo, you know what would be fire? Let's put a Tupperware of turducken in the Salvation Army bucket. And if somebody scores in the second half, we could pull that joint out and we could eat it. That was our life last year. This year, we're seeking a playoff trip. Life comes at you fast, especially when you hire and you put the right people in places, in positions of power. We've seen far too long the wrong people get autonomy. The wrong people get power, and nobody got full power as long as we had Daniel Napoleon Bonaparte Snyder running the organization. So it all comes with due time. The refs, they'll play ball with us in due time, man. We're paying our dues right now, and we're learning how to win. We're learning how to win. When I calm down after my initial reactions of watching the game once, when I calmly watch a game a second time, I get to sit back and remind myself, this team is learning who it is. This team is learning its identity. They're still learning how to win. And that's why you're seeing notorious fuck-ups in the fourth quarter. That's why you're seeing us collapse. And while a lot of us would like to jump straight to, oh my God, this feels like the last 25 years. We have to try to come together and come to the grips that this is this team's first year together. A lot of these guys have never played together before. A lot of these guys, while coaches know each other throughout the league, they've never coached together before. And all this shit is new. All this shit is new. We started as little fetuses, Now we're walking. We're learning how to run. We're learning how to control our bodily functions, and we're starting to develop some personality, but we're still wet beyond the years. That's why we need this playoff trip this year. That's why we need playoff experience this year. You want to play with house money your first year? Give your 23-year-old quarterback a crack at the playoffs in his first year in the league. Let him taste victory. Let him taste defeat. Let him come into 2025 feeling like, I know what it feels like to get there. I love that the Houston Texans did what they did last year. I love that Stroud won himself a playoff game, and then he got humbled the next week where the Ravens beat the brakes off them boys. But he got that feeling. He know what it's like. He know what it felt like. He knows what that defeat felt like. It makes guys like Stroud, like Jaden, cut from that cloth. It makes them want to work harder. It makes them want to hit the film room harder. For Jaden, the VR machine, all of that stuff. If you haven't seen Jaden's interview with the transcripts from Jaden's interview with Kevin Durant and Travis Scott on the boardroom, Go find them on Twitter because there are a lot of cool quotables in that article and a lot of new things I've learned about my quarterback in it. Like, for one, I didn't know Jaden wore number 5 because of Reggie Bush. And he said he plays the game in part because he wants to be one of the best to ever do it. He doesn't do it for the money. He doesn't do it for the celebrity. All of the other things that people talk about. He said he wants to build up a city. He wants to build up a team. And he wants to be one of the greatest to ever do it on one of the greatest teams to ever do it. And that shit lifted the hairs on my arms, man. Sometimes guys just get it. Guys just get it. And I do believe that he wants all of these things for all of us. Started as fetuses. We starting to learn how to hold our head up. What does Smokey say? You got to crawl before you walk. Hell yeah, man. You got to crawl before you walk, man. We're learning how to take off. We're learning how to put some shoes on and run outside without our balance knocking us over. Like we got vertigo or some shit. You know, we're learning. 11-5 is still very doable, and I want it. Atlanta, Dallas, Philly. 2 out of 3, and that's our first 11-win season. I know playoffs is the goal, but I want that shit bad, man. I want that shit so badly. I want 11 wins so badly. I've never seen it before, man. I've never seen it before. And it sounds ridiculous to some fans that come here or older fans that have seen multiple banners get hung up. I've never seen the team win 11. How poetic and at the right time it would feel if the first 11-win season happened in the first year Peters, the first year Quinn, the first year of Jaden Daniels, the first true season where Snyder is like nowhere to be found on any of the fingerprints of the franchise. We go out and win 11. That shit would be beautiful, man. Because we're the only team in the league that has not done so in the last 33 years. JD5 stay laughing and talking shit on the field. He loves it, man. He's living out his dream, and you can see it on his face. There are some fans that don't like that, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Why is he always smiling? Because he loves the game. He loves it. It fuels him. It drives him. This is what he dreamed of doing his whole life. Who would have thought this little 6-pound, 8-ounce, built like a broomstick kid would be a superstar quarterback in the NFL? Boy's built like a backwards tree branch, but that's our guy. He's a baller. He's different. We haven't had anything like this here in quite some time and probably ever in my life. So I'm going to appreciate it for what it is. I'm going to critique him when it's time to critique him, but I know we got us one of those guys. We got us. Special looks different than most of the quarterbacks you see out there. And that motherfucker number 5 that suits it up for this team, he's one of those. That first touchdown he threw yesterday, it made me go back to that Adrian Peterson top 100 clip where he sounded gay. He was like, when I seen him throw that ball, I felt him. Like, I would have said it the same way. The way he was talking about Mahomes, that's how I felt watching Jaden make that play. There's only probably 5 guys in the league that make that play yesterday. That is special. That is not normal, guys. And we all need to imagine not watching Last Dragon before. I've definitely seen The Last Dragon. Can't remember one drop back that JD could launch it on rhythm. That's a problem. He's dropped in rhythm. What are we talking about? When the Chiefs win with only 1 point, everyone says they know how to win. We have the difference. It's the difference, though. They have a resume, a cachet of success, equity built up. They're coming off a back-to-back Super Bowl. They won 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. Of course you can get, they have God's favorite playing quarterback for them. Of course they're going to be seen differently than a franchise that's been a circus for 25 years. So there's a reason why there are narratives that favor other situations more than they favor this one. We're a startup program compared to everybody else. I always imagine that Jaden is laughing like a kid the entire time he's running around, and he looks like a kid at recess, man. He loves that shit. He got that glow. He got that glow. Bruce Leroy, he got that glow out there. He got an aura that surrounds him out on the football field, man. Imagine being a weirdo that uses movie quotes to hit on Washington fans and still lives in their own delusion. Y'all funny, man. We never see anything like this in DC. Yeah, it's different, man. It's different, you know? Steelers do the same thing. They win ugly and stuff. You know, these are flagship programs. Once upon a time, Washington was a flagship program, and they had that type of moxie that could counter any negativity coming towards the organization. We got to get back to that, and we're trying to get back to that, you know? We're trying to get back to it. We're trying to get back to it. If I would have known that Deontay Johnson released today, because that would have been a better option than KJ Osborne. Was he released? Or was he excused from the team? Because the last that I saw, he had been excused from the team. I hadn't seen that they released him, though. Did they release him? Also, well, I'm a guy who likes a couple dickheads and a couple nuts on your roster with some screws loose. What's the situation there? Because there seems to be a lot of animosity, a lot of back and forth going on that side. I don't want to flesh out what that situation is, but I mean, obviously Deontay Johnson's a better option as a football player. Didn't work out in Baltimore. That shit was over before it started. We need 2 years, man. No line is terrible. Great turnout with what we have. And the fact that we've able to put together this hodgepodge roster and get to the playoffs this year, well, hopefully, knock on wood, that says a lot about how good the quarterback played and how we did a lot with less. Five built like an elf on the shelf. When he had that little costume on going to the hospital to visit the kids and shit, I was like, yo, he really does look like an elf on the shelf, man. My kid's elf on the shelf is named Jingle. He looked just like Jingle, bro. That boy Jaden has no waist, no torso. That boy body goes down in a straight, thin-ass line. He built like a stick figure, but he's our stick figure, and he's special, and he's good, and he's quarterbacky, you know? And he's a baller, and he's going to be here to stay for the long term. So buckle up, because when we put the proper weapons, the proper line, and the proper roster around this kid, it is over for the rest of you in the NFC East. It's over for y'all in the NFC, period. When we get the right pieces put around Jaden Daniels, it is over for y'all. This is the worst we're going to see him. This is the worst we're going to see this roster. And y'all are already seeing a possible playoff team in year one. 15 weeks into it, Washington's right there. Winning record for the first time in 8 years. The JD5 effect. When that boy gets some real help around him, it is over for y'all. When he has wide receivers that are not like me out there opposite Terry, it is over for y'all. When we have running backs on the team that can hit a homer. When we got wide receivers that can stretch a slant out to a 60-yard play. It is over for y'all. When there is a consistent, well-constructed offensive line in front of that kid, and he could just sit back and pick defenses apart, it is over for the rest of y'all. And I mean that shit. And I mean that shit. Please know, man. Mike Vick's about to become the Sacramento State head coach. Holy shit, for real? I heard he was in talk with Norfolk State. I heard he was talking to Norfolk State, which made sense to me because the 757 connection. If that's true, shout out to Mike Vick, man. Rio, y'all win one game and back to talking crazy. Well, we're actually on a 2-game winning streak, and I'm talking about the season in totality. Like, I'm talking about the big picture of what we're doing over here. So walk with me. We won 4 games last year. We lost 8 in a row to close the season. We are now talking about clinching playoff berths over the last 3 games of the season. I'm talking big picture right now. So walk with me. So was it Sac State or was it Norfolk State? Because I swear it was Norfolk State. I'm just trying to let folks know that enjoy Washington while we can't beat a good team. Enjoy Washington when we're letting albino demons come in cold and almost walk us down in the second half of games. Enjoy Washington when we can't squeak out games where we're driving for the win versus a one-loss team, or when we're up in Philadelphia with a 10-6 lead and crumble in the fourth quarter. Enjoy it while you see it, because when we get pieces in this joint, it's a wrap for y'all, bro. It's a wrap for some of y'all, man. Look at what the Vikings are doing with Sam Darnold, what Green Bay's doing with Jordan Love. They've put together rosters, man. They've put together damn near quarterback-proof rosters, and once good quarterback play arrive, they right back to it. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So, did he take the Norfolk State job, or is he interviewing for it? I'm happy for him regardless, because Vic is that's my guy. Cliff getting too cute in crucial situations. He does sometimes. You know, he starts to feel himself. He starts to unnecessarily pull out a jet sweep, a double reverse. Like, fam, sometimes you just need to line it up and run some shit, man. But what I do want to say as well, is, Cliff, my guy, if we haven't established the run, play action's not going to work. And that was something I saw play out very not in our favor yesterday. We never established any type of run game, and we keep doing long developing boot action, play action plays. And you know what the Saints started doing? They started ignoring the play action and taking a beeline straight to the quarterback. And they were getting there. Jaden was doing his best to elude and avoid guys like 04 Michael Vick Madden, but there's not but so much you can do when you're being pressured nonstop, and the team doesn't know how to pick up anything outside of the normal amount of rushers. But we got to develop a counterpunch. You got to develop a counterpunch for when we get blitzed, and we have to realize you cannot run the ball. You cannot do play action. Why would they think we're going to run it if we can't run it in a passing situation? We got to stop doing that shit, man. Enjoy the NO blend. Enjoy the no blend, because when we get a good barber, a.k.a. Adam Peters, we going to have the coldest blended fade in the league. What up, Dre? What up, Dre? I seen what you tweeted about with your moms earlier, cooking for a pro athlete or whatnot. I love that for y'all, man. I love that, man. Black excellence, man. Y'all keep going over that side. I love to hear that type of shit. But just to wrap this up, you know, I ain't going to be in here all night tonight. We just wrapping up another week of Victory Mondays, because we can't take these for granted around here. We've had a lot of bad seasons. We've had a lot of seasons where, you know where we would be right now? What is today, December 16th? You know where we would be right now? We would be in the midst of Tankathon. We would be in the midst of mock draft mania. Everybody in the chat would be infighting about who we're picking with the 7th, 11th, 13th, 15th, 17th pick of the draft. And that is not the case this year. What up, Sheen? What up, Sheen? How we doing on Monday? We wrapping up in a second. I'm glad you can get in here before we get out of here. Shout out to Michael Vick, you know. Shout out to Michael Vick if he does get that job, if he did get it already. Congrats. But yes, we would be talking draft. That's why during the bye week, I allowed it. Everybody go ahead and shoot your shots, free agent conversations, draft, and all that. But I had to reel it in because we have actual meaningful football to talk about. We have playoff football potentially to talk about. We're trying to clinch over these last 3 weeks of the season. You know what we'd be doing right now, man. What up, what up, what up? Smash that like button. We've been at a solid 700 plus for more than an hour. We're talking Victory Monday night doubleheader later. I won't probably be streaming those, but we're just getting in some good conversation on Victory Monday. I watched the game again after my nerves settled down. I spent some time with my boy. Oh, let me roast my son real quick. I love my son. My son, Lil Rio, Lil Mario, my guy. Love you to death. My son came in my house yesterday smelling like Aladdin. I was like, boy, if you don't get your ass to go wash them underarms, bro. He opened the door and I just smelled underarms from the second that door opened up. Tell your teenage kids to take showers and wear deodorant. I don't know what the hell his mama was on with him yesterday, but you're 13 years old, wear deodorant. You wake up, you wear deodorant. You go to sleep, you wear deodorant. Hygiene matters. And I want to take this second to roast my little boy for a second. Boy, don't come over here smelling like underarms again. Don't come in here with your whiff smacking me in the face like Will Smith as soon as the door opened. That boy came in here smelling like onion powder in locker room yesterday. I said, you are 13 years old, bruh. Ain't no whole new world or none of that shit taking place today. Take your ass smack to the bathroom. Teach your teenage kids hygiene, bruh. And to my ex, don't bring my son smelling over my house smelling like that ever again. Oh man, it's only on the weekends though, because he know better than that on a school day. As a teenage boy, my mother had to roast me as well. I lost my mother at 15, but in those 15 years of life, she had to tell me once I got to that age, boy, if you don't take your ass in that shower, you better not touch a bit of my furniture before you take a shower. You got to get roasted by your parents sometime, bro. If your parents can't roast you, I don't know who can, bro. Boy came in the crib smelling like all Agrabah last night. I was like, bruh. I love that little boy to death, man. I was happy to see my son last night after the game. Lifted my spirits a little bit. Of course, my stupid ass, after we spend a good bit of time together, hey, son, let me show you what you missed today. Come and watch some of this game with me. Had to show him some of the bullshit that took place in that game yesterday. Bruh, if you can't roast your kids, I don't know what to tell you. You gotta be able to roast them, bro. Like I'm telling you, bro. I was sitting here at my desk, the door opened up, and like I felt his wind touch my face before the rest of his body got in the door. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What were you doing today, sir? What were you doing today? And did you run out of deodorant? Because if you need some, I got extra sticks in the house. And I was like, once you get out that shower, go ahead and throw some of the natural kind on and go ahead and get you some aluminum under there as well. Not just the natural deodorant. Go ahead and use some of that Dove as well. Go ahead and put you some of that non-paraben free shit. Put you some aluminum in there as well because you need a little bit of all that right now. But boy came in smelling like mustard. Oh shit. Y'all heard that on stream. Y'all heard that. The last thing I said before I got out was, did you just come back from eating somewhere? Hey, y'all be paying attention. I said, boy, what restaurant did you just come from? My boy came in smelling crazy as shit, man. That's what I'm saying. We on year one. Hell yeah, man. I feel good. But before we got out of here, I had to take that time to roast my little boy for a second, man. I love that boy to death, man. Shout out to Lil Rio and shout out to my baby girl, Milena. We had us a nice little welcome as well. New Africa. It's crazy. We're gonna have a nice week full of content. Expect me and Lake Lunier, me and Lake Lewis Jr. We're going to get back this week. We're going to talk about this dumbass Saints game one more time in the morning, and we're going to turn all our attention to goddamn Philly. I got to talk to my Philly content creators and see who we getting on the channel this week for a preview. And boy, do we have some good football to talk about. We saw what happened last time. That restaurant was called Holy Fuck. Oh man, that shit was crazy, bro. I ain't smell underarm smell. That shit reminded me of my childhood, you know. That boy came in smelling like all types of curry. But I appreciate everybody for rocking with your boy for about an hour and 20 on a Monday evening. Enjoy some Monday night football tonight. We gonna get back out here. JD5, 3,045 yards, almost 71% completion percentage, 17 passing touchdowns, 6 picks, 650 on the ground, 6 rushing touchdowns, 3 fumbles, none lost. Bo Nix, there is a difference, and the eye test matters. The eye in the sky and the two eyes on your face always tell the truth if the numbers did not give you the full case. I'm manifesting it as well. We can beat these guys. We'll talk about that later in the week. Montgomery out for the season. Yeah, that shit sucks for them. But smash that like button if you didn't yet on the way out. Love y'all. Enjoy y'all evening. I hope the Falcons lose tonight, but I could care less because as long as we take care of business, we're going to get in the playoffs. That's all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Hail to our 9th victory Monday of the season. Fingers crossed for 2 more before this season lets out. I will talk to y'all later unless something comes out. I'm out.